Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's going to be a long-winded one. I'm just going to sit down with camera and have a conversation just to answer some questions. This video is long overdue. I sort of made one a while back, but not so detailed. So I've been asked to get a little more into detail about some stuff. So I do that. If you're not into like fat people problems, then this video is probably not for you. But first I need to apologize. For one, I didn't know that my my gain was turned up. I had not adjusted it from a previous stream when I had to be quiet when everybody was sleeping. So intense Darth Vader breathing may come. You can hear me swallow. It's pretty bad. It's not that bad. I mean, it's all right. So if that bugs you, you can turn it down. But anyways, there's some things that I forgot to mention, and this wasn't something that I had pre-planned. Well, I didn't think I'd need to, but for all of the information I was planning, I should have made a little list or whatever. But these are things that I forgot to mention. Cheese. I eat cheese. I eat white cheese. You can have cheese. Don't panic. Don't fret. But I don't load things with cheese either. And then passive exercise is a must. So you have to do things that you enjoy. So I like water, I swim, I get my heart rate up in the pool. And then I do like strength training in the pool. Also lifting weights. If you're not a fan of doing cardio, which it's not really the best for fat people anyways, typically what you want to do is build muscle mass. And that doesn't mean you're going to turn into a man, but the more muscle mass that you build, it raises your basal caloric metabolic rate. It just basically means the more muscle you have, the more energy, the more calories you're going to burn. Let me rephrase that. The more muscle you build, the more calories that you burn at rest. So while you're sleeping, sitting, doing things that aren't exercise. So that's a good thing to do, is to lift weights. So the old school method is what is recommended, just doing like what your max is a few times, as long as it's something that you could do 6 days a week. That's good. Other ways of passive exercise are like recumbent bikes. Like I used to do a recumbent bike and read or listen to podcasts or do something that would take my mind off of the pain in my legs. Yeah, just find things that you enjoy, and who cares if you're fat. If you liked skating, see if you can still skate. Don't go out and break a leg, but do things that you used to enjoy. Also, a thing that has helped me too is everybody wants to buy things when they're going to start working out, but I have the Wyze Scale, and I know that there's a weight capacity on it, but if you are able to get that scale, it's awesome. I don't know if they make it that's for like fatty, like more fatty friendly or whatever. But it does everything, like all your biometrics, everything. It'll tell you like how much water you're storing, like everything. And then you can see the graph. It's just primo. I like it. And it's easily shareable. So that is a really great scale. And then also like throw away your Fitbits, just bite the bullet, get an Apple Watch. They're the best. Because they're waterproof and they're kind of finicky with tracking laps, but they at least will let you know like when your heart rate's up, and that's what's important. So okay, I have my heart rate up for this long, so now I need to like do some strength training for this long. The HIIT training that everybody knows about. So yeah, I think that's all the bases. If I forgot anything, I'll add them at the end. Sorry for what you're about to witness, but I was really tired, and I mean, you guys have seen me without makeup and all that stuff before. So that's that. I have been busy on other platforms. Like I said, this is something that is kind of smaller. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to merge the things that I do or not. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. If you like my voice and you want to hear me ramble about things that you're not interested in, stay tuned. It's long, but it's worth it. All right. Thanks for watching. Let's go. Hi guys, it's me. I was supposed to make this video a while ago, and I keep forgetting about it. And so I just remembered, and I had the time. I could have taken the time to put a full face on, you know, and get all cute, but I don't want y'all to be distracted by my sickening makeup skills. Oh, my camera just distracted me. It likes to pick up my hand gestures when I'm not trying to give it gestures. Anyway, the purpose of this video, while I'm here a busted mess. Oh, well, you guys know anyways, on this channel, you guys are used to seeing me traveling or waking up in my vlogs or whatever. I'm still alive and kicking. I've still been filming and streaming, just on different platforms. I kind of went another way. Not very many people know about this channel, and it has kind of more personal stuff on here. Anyway, not the point. The point is, I've been asked a lot of things about, one, how fucking stay so lit and fit and don't take no shit. No, believe it or not, fat people like to ask other fat people about their routines, their fitness, how they do certain things that they do. So, not that I'm someone that a skinny girl should come to for advice on how to lose weight, because when I was thin, I wasn't trying to lose weight. But yeah, so anyways, what I do, what I've done, and what works for me, and what I've seen work for other people is it's called the lifestyle change. You have to change the way that you live. I've never been one to jump on diet trains or try diet pills. I have a long history of why I don't deal with that. I don't want to talk about that right now. Anyways, or like why I won't do weight loss surgery, this, that, blah, 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 tink, 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 tink. Anyway, okay, let me talk about what the fuck I came here to talk about. All right, believe it or not, this is going to start a whole conversation. I already know. I get this asked all the time too. Are you part of fat acceptance? Are you part of this? Like, I have a brain, I think. I worked in the medical industry all the way up until I retired, right at the prime age of 39. There goes my camera, picking up things again. Anyway, so if I have a medical background, you should know where I stand on that. But basically the basics are, I'm not going to teach a class right now. I'm not. Anyways, I'll discuss that in another video. Okay, first let's talk about what I have. And I'm not really, I think this is actually the first time I've ever said it in public or like online or whatever, because I'm not a victim and I just let people assume what they want of me. Because as we all know, as my saying goes, if you're not feeding, financing, or fucking me, I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. Or if you're not feeding, financing, or fucking me, you shouldn't have an opinion on my motherfucking body or how much I ate. So anyways, what I have. I want to say around, well, I gained weight in college, but everybody gains weight in college. And then I lost it, but not as easily as I would have when I was younger. I want to say like in my mid 30s, I started experiencing just extreme fatigue, brain fog. I thought I was damn near narcoleptic. And it took a lot of time to actually figure out what I have, because you have to be tested for a specific marker. And mine was like crazy outrageous by the time they finally found it. But I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what that is it's an autoimmune disease where your body attacks your thyroid and other parts of your bodies, your joints, like all kinds of other stuff. And I also have arthritis. And that's partially because I have remained so active and been so overweight. I think at my largest, I was around like 336, 340. And I was still training in martial arts 6 days a week, 2 classes, 2 times a day, 2 classes on 2 days of the week. Like it was intense. And even though my measurements changed, my body weight didn't change, and I didn't lose fat. Like I gained muscle, but I didn't lose fat. Because when you have Hashimoto's, your body won't burn calories. It's not as easy as in creating a calorie deficit and taking less calories. Your body just doesn't work like that. And because along with weight loss and burning calories, you have to have your hormones in check. And if everything's all haywire, your body's not going to act or react how it's supposed to. So anyway, so in finding out that I had Hashimoto's, I had to research and do a lot of kind of I mean, you should always advocate for yourself. You are your patient, as you know, it's nurse's job to advocate for you. You know more than the nurses know about your body when you're going in. So if you only give us one part of the picture, we can't fix it for you because we don't know all the other parts that you might not be telling us. So, doctors, Western medicine, science, they don't really deal with Hashimoto's very well. And they'll throw you on Synthroid, which is like, it's a thyroid. But that causes things and side effects and all kinds of other stuff that I didn't really want to deal with. So I started looking into what causes certain things and other things that fat people have that Western medicine doesn't treat very well. So there's a lot of conditions that can be treated with, and I'm going to use the word diet as in diet is what you eat, not as in like you have to restrict or whatever. But there are diets that can help prevent inflammation, and they can also help treat inflammation. And there's also a lot linked to leaky gut syndrome, which are all good things like for you guys to Google and find out about. But yeah, so in doing that, I've come up with what works for me and what has worked for a lot of people. Okay, so if you have Hashimoto's, or if you have arthritis, or if you have any other inflammatory disease, lupus, lymphedema, what else? There's just all kinds of inflammatory diseases. There are things that you need to avoid in your diet. So first things first, you can't be like, oh, I have this thing, so now I need to count all my sugars, I need to count all my fats, I need to count all my carbs, and I got to count fibers, and I got to calculate net carbs. Like, you need to throw all that shit out of the way, because that's not practical. That's not something that's sustainable. You're not going to be able to walk into your kitchen, be a hungry person, and be like, oh, let me do all this crap before I eat. You're not going to do that for a prolonged period of time. It's just not going to happen. So you also can't avoid all carbs. You can't deprive your body of a nutrient source. You can't deprive yourself of something that you enjoy to eat. That's not going to be sustainable either. But what you can do is learn how to eat those things differently that will help you feel better, think better, and just be overall better and remain happy, because you're not having to deprive yourself from all these other things. So another thing that I don't have to deal with is I don't have any binge eating disorders. I've never starved myself. I do have disordered eating, and I've had that since I was young. I have never been brought up in a household where we had 3 square meals a day. I was given lunch money for school at lunch, which I would never really use on lunch. I would buy cigarettes with, but that's another story. But I would come home from school, I would have a small snack, and then I would have dinner. And I continued those habits throughout my adulthood. which is really bad for your body because the less you eat, the more your body stores because it thinks that it's starving. Because your body's, I mean, it's magnificent. Like its whole job is to fix itself. It does that everywhere. It will, your body, like if something's wrong with your body, it will always compensate somewhere to maintain normal, to maintain balance. It's homeostasis, like its perfect place. So, and what happens as you grow older, those compensatory mechanisms, they're not that great. That's why when you're like young, you could be fat, you could be feeling great, you could be doing whatever. But as you get older, your compensatory mechanisms start to break down. You know, where your muscles were strong and supporting you before, they're no longer supporting you. And so now it's more, you don't have like support from your muscles. And now it's creating strain on your musculoskeletal system. So anyway, so the important thing is to fix it before it becomes too late. Because as everyone says, there are no really old fat people. It just doesn't happen. Obesity is linked to death. That's why it was called morbid obesity forever. And there's studies on it. It's not just people making things up. It's not just doctors trying to tell you that you're something that you shouldn't be. Like there's studies. U.S. medicine is based on evidence-based practices. Evidence-based means there were studies done everywhere in other countries and data was taken and things were derived from actual people. So it's not just things we pull from the air or things that are outdated. So anyways, where was I going with all this freaking bullshit? So yeah, as far as disordered eating, I've never been a binge eater, but I've had, just one meal a day for a long time. That was my normal because I was young and dumb. I didn't know that was bad for me. But I do enjoy food, but I'm not like food obsessed. And I do crave sweets, but only during a certain time of month. And I allow myself to have those sweets because that's my reward for being anti-human, for bleeding for 7 days and not dying. A bitch needs her rewards. Anyways, so here's what I say to disordered eating. And I know what it is. I understand it as much as somebody can that isn't speaking from experience. First, you have to identify your triggers and you have to be honest with yourself. And you know you more than anybody else knows you. So you have to come up with your own plan on your own ways to avoid binging. So it's either avoiding those triggers, finding other mechanisms to deal with those triggers, or 3, creating a different response for those triggers. If that has to involve food, you can control how that involves food. Okay, so, and another thing is to never be hungry. So that's why I am constantly about creating a sustainable change and always being full, never allowing yourself to be hungry. And when I say full, I mean not hungry, not, oh my God, I can't breathe, or oh my God, my diaphragm has nowhere to drop because I'm so full, or oh my God, I can feel my food in my chest, I got acid reflux. That's over full. So I've talked before in another video about how when transitioning from eating bad in COVID, I had to, because in COVID, I just let loose. I was like, I'm not grocery shopping. I'm not dealing with people. There's all these Karens in the supermarkets. I'm going to go to jail because the Karen's going to pop off and I'm going to have to just, But anyways, so I did. I came off of my little regimen and I gained my weight back quick. And, that's one thing that I would do differently when I lost weight before. I'm very anti-surgery. I don't do Botox. I don't do fillers. I don't do all that. I want to be a natural woman. But one thing that I do wish that I had done differently is that when I had lost all that weight, I wish I would have gotten lipo because I did not know that your body keeps those fat cells, and it is a lot easier for those fat cells to become enlarged again and for you to gain weight. So anyway, so whatever. Probably better that I didn't. So, yeah, I did gain weight in the Rona. So what I did to transition was I just split my meals up into, if I would normally have like a Chipotle burrito, I would have half a Chipotle burrito. I would wait 2.5 hours and then consider the other half like my next snack or meal or whatever. But how I eat is, I eat 3 meals a day. I try to have 2 snacks in between, breakfast and lunch and dinner. 1 snack between those meals. So it's 3 meals, 2 snacks. Sometimes I have a snack like after dinner. If I am going to sleep and I just get a snack, I'll get berries or something from the fridge. But what I have done that is sustainable for me is I do a mix of what would be considered a low carb cycled. I'm going to eat what I want kind of thing. Okay, so now they say when you have inflammatory issues to avoid carbs. They don't mean all carbs. That's refined carbs. Because refined carbs like bread, rice, potatoes, that's sugar in your body. Once you eat it, it's sugar. And sugar is what causes the inflammation. So carbs, like vegetable carbs, fruit carbs, those are fine to have. Because the sugar and stuff that you'll have in berries is fine because berries themselves are anti-inflammatory. So I avoid intentional carbs. So I don't eat bread, I don't eat potatoes, and I don't eat rice all the time. Those are just rarities. So I do what I call non-intentional carbs. So I'm not going to count how many carbs I eat, but I'm not going to ever pull a piece of bread out of the counter and make a meal with it. Instead, I'll substitute it with a low carb tortilla. And I'll make, instead of a sandwich, I'll make a pinwheel for, if I feel the need for a carb, which is rare, I never do. But if I do, that's how I take it in. So no intentional carbs. So, and I do that, and you could carb cycle how you want to, but this is what I found works for me. I will do 14 days of low carbs with a 1 earned carb day, or I will do 7 days low carbs with a 1 earned carb day. And you can see what works for your body the best. If you're plateauing and you give yourself a carb day, you will drop weight just like crazy out of nowhere. But it's important. The important thing is sustainable. So it's important that you eat healthy more frequently than you eat unhealthy. So as long as you stay on this 14-day, 1 earned day or 7-day, 1 earned day schedule, you'll be fine. Sometimes I even do like 14 days, 2 earned days, like spaghetti. I'm not a pasta person, but I do love spaghetti, and spaghetti is better when it's left over. So if we're going to make spaghetti, I'll allow myself 2 carb days. Now that doesn't mean that I'll like fill both carb days with just carbs. It means I'm going to eat spaghetti for probably 2 meals for 2 days in a row. So I'll have like 4 portions of spaghetti. Another thing that you need to avoid that are inflammatory is processed food, anything in a package. I only shop the outside aisle of the grocery. Who am I kidding? I don't go to the grocery store. But when I did used to go to the grocery store, before Instacart was a thing, I only shopped the outside aisle of the grocery store, only went inside for water, Gatorades, whatever. So you want to eat fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fatty fish. Fatty fish is really good for anti-inflammatory. Salmon, anchovies. I've never eaten those before, but I eat a lot of. I like steak. I have steak at least once a week. I try different things with grass-fed beef. that's important too, is trying to eat as organically as possible for your budget, because the food has more nutrients, less chemicals, less treatments. All of those things are bad for you if you have bad inflammatory responses. So I eat a lot of I eat everything organic and grass-fed everything. Also in your fish, try and get wild caught fish, because when they're farm raised, they're given corn and all kinds of other stuff in their food. So that's no bueno. It's better for them to be eating the shit that's in the waterways than what they're given in farms. So you also have to see what will keep you from binging. So if you have binge eating disorder and you can't go the full 14 days, you feel like you're going to binge when you do have your one day, then just break it down to 7 and do the 7 every one. If you're having a really good month and you're not feeling triggered and you want to push it out for the 14 days, do that. Keep track of what you weigh. And not because losing weight is what matters, because it's not. It's about how you feel, how you look, and all that other stuff. There's been times where the scale shows that I've gained weight, but I can see a difference in my body and my clothes. And I'm like, oh, okay, my body composition changed. I freaking bulked up some way. And that happens with me a lot because I don't burn fat very easily. I don't burn calories. It just gives you a good thing to gauge as to what's working and how your body's working, whether the 14 days is better or the 7 days is better. And it's really just a lifestyle choice. I mean, if you can't go 14 days, just do the 7. It doesn't matter. You will see a difference. And you still get to eat everything that you were eating before, just in a different way. Now, if you don't want to give up processed foods completely, if you have like a favorite thing that you want, then have that every 7th day because you've earned it. Just don't go overboard on it. Just eat like half of what you would normally eat, and you're going to see a difference. And you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, that's why I don't call them cheat days, because I've earned them. And if I'm cheating anybody, I'm cheating myself. You're only cheating yourself. Like, who cares if everybody thinks that you're losing weight? You're the one that's going to like die early. You're the one that's going to have like pain and not be able to move by the time you're 40. Like, you're affecting your life. Like, I'm pretty active and I do things, and I'm like very social. Like, I'm constantly like in my string bikini, like out on my boat. Like, I just have confidence like that. I don't really care what people say or do or what they think, you know, because I'm going to be out there living my life, because tomorrow's not promised. Like, we could do all the right things and we could still die tomorrow. I live a dangerous lifestyle. I ride a motorcycle, I mean, in California, of all places. So you never know what could take you out. I mean, even though I ride a motorcycle, there are people that die freaking riding their bicycle. It's crazy. You never know. So anyway, so sustainable, low carb days, and there's no amount. Just don't have any intentional carbs. Don't eat any bread. Don't eat any pastas. Now, if you do, like, for instance, we had soup for the first time this season. It doesn't really get cold here, but I was like, I want soup. So we had soup. We had meatball soup. And my chef was like, do you want me to put potatoes in it? And I was like, sure, go ahead. Because, like, I couldn't think of the last time I had an intentional carb. I'm like, because I don't really count my carb days anymore. I just know, all right, it's been a long time. So I can have like a full-on carb day. And if I'm not, if I can't think offhand, like, oh yeah, it was 2 days ago that I had a carb day, then like, yeah, you can have rice as a side or potatoes as a side to change it up, to break up the monotony. If you don't want to be like too inconvenienced, if you're at, like, if I go to a restaurant and say, I usually, and that's another thing, like if I go to a fancy restaurant, I'm not going to be like, I have to have protein. No, fuck you. I'm paying like top dollar. This is going to go ahead and become my carb day. It may not have been 7 days or 14 days, but from this day, I know I have to wait at least 7 days before I have my next carb day. So that's just a way to keep it to where it's adjustable. You can hold yourself accountable. You can still live your life. You could still eat what you want to eat, and you will still feel better and just be better. Another thing too is when you're going from a diet where you ate fast food a lot, your taste buds are like scorched off. The amount of sodium and seasoning and everything that's in fast food, you don't realize it until you've gone a long time without it. It's a lot. So when you first start cooking at home, many people will over season everything. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I'm retaining so much sodium. Well, that's because you're over seasoning everything. So my advice is just to kind of let it taste a little like bleh for like a week, and then your taste buds will adjust and they'll go back to normal. And then actually the food that used to be gross to you, like lettuce and broccoli and other stuff that was like, ooh, it will actually start to taste good. And it'll actually start to make you feel good. Like you'll finish a meal and be like, I have energy. That's fucking weird. You know, it's really weird. There is, I'll look it up and I'll share my screen really quick. I think it's called, okay, the seasonings that we use are these right here. I'm not going to edit this that much, I don't think, as long as I don't start umming and ahhing. Right here, Dan O's seasoning, and they're really good. They have different packages. I believe we have them all. And of course, now it's not showing the picture. Okay, yeah, there's original, spicy, chipotle, and I don't know what the one is in the back. I know we have original, and I know we have spicy. But they're sugar-free. They say they're keto friendly. I'm not a fan of keto. I'm not a fan of any one diet. There's a lot of issues with eating high fat. I mean, that was what the Atkins was too. There are benefits to eating low carbs and avoiding the sugars that come in carbs. You will naturally lose weight by doing that, but especially if you have inflammatory issues, it's good to limit your carbs. We use this, and then the barbecue sauce that we use, what the heck is it called? Oh, I think it's like Kindred. Oh, I think it's Kidner's. Kinder's. Yeah, this is it. We use Kinder's barbecue sauce, and they have all kinds of stuff too. And you don't have to get down to the nitty gritty of counting these carbs. Like I said, just don't eat intentional carbs and you're good. Okay, let me go back and change this. All right. So that's kind of the layout of it that I do. Now, as far as protein goes, I'm a fan of taking in a lot of protein. I think that you should take in a gram of protein for every pound that you weigh is typically the recommendation. But when you're really obese, you should just go for every pound that you want to weigh. So say I want to weigh 160 pounds, I should take in at least 160 grams of protein. Protein is important for your muscles. It's important for energy, because you're not going to be running off of carbs anymore or sugars anymore. You're going to start to run off of protein. Let's see. You also need to make sure that you drink a lot of water, because taking in a lot of protein is really hard on your kidneys. You're putting your body into ketosis, and when you do that, it's hard on your kidneys, and your kidneys need extra water. So just drink water. I drink at least a gallon a day. I just get a liter bottle of whatever, Smart Water or whatever, Fiji or whatever, and I drink that, and I'll either buy more while I'm out or I'll refill them, just so that I make sure that I at least took in my gallon of water every day. And that's whether you work out, whether you don't work out, you need to drink that every day. It'll keep your kidneys happy. Okay, so The typical breakfast for me, I usually do one of two options. I actually have a video recording one. I hope I can find it. I haven't gone through my stuff and I don't know how much I'm going to edit this, but I like, let me find these and then I'll share my screen. See, and I don't even know how much these are in carbs. I've never checked. I just eat these. Let me look. Okay, they have 9 grams of carbs. So good. So good. Let me. Okay, so I get these. They're everything but the bagel. I think they, actually, I don't think they use the word everything but the bagel because that's a Sam's Club. I mean, a Sam's Club, that's a Trader Joe's thing. But they're called everything rice cakes. They're basically rice cakes that have a little bit of a, it's a good flavor, like a salty cheddar flavor almost, with the bagel seasoning on it. And I hard-boiled eggs because I like to make shit easy. I'm not trying to cook every morning. So I'll hard-boil like 6 eggs, and then I will take 2 hard-boiled eggs and I will mash the yolks after I cut them in half. And then I will slice up the whites really fine. And then I will get an avocado and I will slice the avocado and then mash it with a fork with the egg yolk. And then I will combine in the egg white slices, and then I will top that on the rice cake. So I have 2 rice cakes, 2 hard-boiled eggs, and an avocado, and it's very filling. The protein in that and the good fat that's in the avocado is everything. If you like avocados, I love avocados, and I could live off of them, and I do. And my other breakfast option is I do an avocado pudding. So it's an avocado, it's quercetin acerbate, which is a really good powder. You have to get it at a compounding pharmacy. They might actually sell it on Amazon. Yeah, they do have it on Amazon. So this is it, quercetin acerbate. Anyways, I add that in there, and then I add Manuka honey. Manuka honey is also on Amazon. I think mine's like really high right now. I usually buy the highest level I could find on Amazon. Yeah, it's right here. This is the brand I use. So whatever, this is the one I have right now. It's 80. And that's good. It's a good sugar for you to have. Manuka honey has a lot of healing properties. And that's another thing. When you're eating well, you don't get sick. If you're eating like really good nutrients and really good food, it's rare that you get sick. All you got to do is wash your hands, don't touch your face, and you're good to go. Okay, so that honey has that. And then I also put in hemp hearts for protein. The organic ones, they're green. They're in a green bag right here. Hemp hearts and chia seeds. So that's really good. One of the things that I will not, let me see, give up is my coffee creamer. This is my favorite coffee creamer. And it has 5 grams of carbs. It's non-dairy, so it's just bomb. And this is like really the fakest thing I take in. Yeah, so I have a few cups of coffee. I have a few cups of coffee with that creamer, and I don't feel bad about it at all. That's my shit. It keeps me alive. It keeps me sane. It lets other people live throughout the day. So that's my typical breakfast. Sometimes in the summer, I make fruit smoothies with just ice and frozen organic fruits. I could also just make eggs and bacon. I mean, I don't eat oatmeal because that's bad for me. I don't eat cereals. So for lunch, well, for my snack before then, if I get a chance to get a snack, it's really rare that I do because usually after breakfast, I've had my coffee, I've had my breakfast, and then I usually head out to my pool. And it's rare that I come in and get a snack. I just go like straight into lunch. And then what I have for lunch is I buy the prosciutto packs that are, I mean, you can make them yourself, but it's just prosciutto. It's white cheese. I think it's mozzarella. Mozzarella sticks wrapped with prosciutto. I'll have like 4 of those, some hummus, some baby carrots, some grape tomatoes. If I want to, I'll make like some sort of boat, you know, like a romaine lettuce leaf with something on it. Oh, and those freaking cucumbers. Are they like, what are they called? Just like small cucumbers. These are my favorite. Yeah, these are them. These are them. Let me show you. Open, open, open. Okay. These mini cucumbers. You don't have to get this brand, and mine aren't always organic. It's fine. Not everything has to be organic. We just have to try. But those are so good because you can just rinse them and just bite into them. They're so crisp. They're so good. I love them. So usually that'll be a part of my lunch or a snack. If I don't want to do any of that, I'll do the pinwheel, like I said, on either a carb balance tortilla or those spinach wraps. Those are like kind of high in carbs, but who cares if it's the only thing you're going to have that's an intentional carb all day. Like I wouldn't do that every day, but it's okay. Like every other day, you got to change it up a little bit or you're going to get bored. For drinks, you need to get rid of the soda. It's bad for you. Whether it's diet or not, it's still bad for you. I drink a lot of tea. I make my own in the microwave, just the cheap shit, Lipton, like black tea. I get a measuring cup of 2 cups. I put like, I think 4 tea bags in there, put it in the microwave for 4 minutes. And then I have, you know, a tea pitcher and I fill that with ice about a quarter way. And then I add the rest with water till it's about to pour out. Just leave enough for the 2 cups of tea in there. Mix it in. I use an artificial sweetener for that. You can do your research and choose one that works for you. I mean, I have no recommendations. I found studies that say that all of them cost something or another, but I mean, what's going to kill me first, right? So, and I figure if I'm eating like mostly organic and mostly clean, come on. But I eat that, I drink that. And then I also drink, I don't like the taste of artificial flavoring. I mean, artificial like sugar replacements in drinks. But the Gatorades, the sugar-free Gatorades, they're really good. You can't even tell. The berry berry is really good. The white one, I forget what it's called, but it's like another berry flavor. They're all really good. There's a weird one. It's a light green one. It's like a cucumber something. It's pretty refreshing. It's weird at first, but if you've ever had the cucumber juices in the summer from Whole Foods, it tastes like that. It's really good. So those are like flavored things to drink. I do have Bang energy drinks. I find them the lesser of all the evils of what they have. The creatine and stuff, again, as long as you're drinking plenty of water and you're not drinking like 3 of those a day, you'll be fine. But if I'm craving something fizzy, I usually go for that. But if you're a fan of what I like to call ass water, a sparkling water, then you could have that too. I can't do it. I can't do any of the ass waters, flavored or not. It's not my thing. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so typical dinners. I keep it simple. Like, we do change it up here and there. I'll have to ask and there is a rice that has been rotated in regularly. It has to be like something good, or she wouldn't have included it in our meals. But I like it. But there's like a pilaf version and a regular, like, I think, white rice version. But every once in a while we'll have rice, but usually for the side vegetables, it's, green or and yellow zucchini, just, with a little bit of olive oil in a frying pan. And you don't want to make your vegetables to where they're soggy either. Like, you need to leave them crunchy a little bit, to where they have a little bit of a bite, so they have some of their nutritional value left in them. When you overcook it, when you like cook it all soft and mushy like that, you're getting rid of all the good things in them. What else do we have for sides? We rarely do a salad. Like, usually, because I'm not a fan of a salad without a protein, because salads don't keep you full. So I either need like a chef salad with like hard-boiled eggs, or like a steak salad or something like that. So if we typically have salad, it's like on our steak nights. And I love porterhouse steaks. Like, I like the filet, but I also like changing it up with the porterhouse so it has both sides, Bomb. So we do a lot of chicken in the smoker, chicken in the air fryer. Salmon is amazing. And I told my chef to start recording like what she makes and stuff. And she said she will. She's done like some things here and there, some snippets, and for me and like my grocery hauls and stuff. But she said she will. I just need to leave a tripod in there for her. My tripods are always here, there, and everywhere. So we usually get salmon. Wild caught salmon is kind of hard to find fresh. And the last time we found it, we had it delivered and it was gross. It was like mushy and rotten. So ever since then, we've just been getting it frozen. But as long as it's wild caught, you're good to go. And it's really good. We have chicken and salmon and grass-fed beef. Oh, yeah, like I was saying with grass-fed beef, we try to change up what we do with it. We did meatloaf, I think, last week, and that was really good, which was the first time we've done that in a long time. We did albondigas, the soup last night for this week for the grass-fed beef. We will do like hamburgers and like hot dogs without the buns, but usually if we're going to do that, I'm like, I'll just make this my carb day and have the buns. What else? I can't think of what I eat in sides, as sides. I'm going to include some pictures. I know there's been some meals like when we were camping and stuff that I took pictures. I don't really pay attention to what's on my plate. I just eat what's in front of me, and it's bomb as fuck. So yeah, and then for fruits, you can have all the fruits that you want. Berries are especially good for you. They have very good anti-inflammatory properties, and they're really good for like your mental health too. Like blueberries, I think, are good for mental health. Blueberries, we usually get blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Those are usually what I snack on at night the most. What else? We get apples, oranges, pears. Oh, I get this mixed assorted fruit thing. They say pineapple is a really good anti-inflammatory, but it's super, super high in sugar. So That's one fruit to avoid. And you don't want to eat like large amounts of melons, but you can have small amounts of melons, like watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydew. But having berries is the best when it comes to fruits. But none of those are off limits. It's okay. You're going to be fine. You don't need to count the carbs. Those are all good carbs. That's the good stuff. That's what your body wants. That's what your body needs. That's the good sugar. What else? I think that's basically it. So yeah, on your carb day, keep note, like during the low carb days, when you're not having any intentional carbs, keep a little mental note of my next carb day. I want this because you are craving it. And as you proceed closer and closer to that carb day, those things are going to change. And when your carb day actually arrives, check off all the boxes of whatever you craved and eat it on that day. Don't consume mass amounts. Eat about half of what you normally would, and you're still going to drop weight. So, and then just go back to business as usual, low carb day until your next earn day, whether it's 7 days or 14 days, whichever works best for you. And then eat whatever you want. So yes, if you want your chocolate cake, eat it. So what this does is you're protecting your body against all of these inflammatory responses for the majority of your life. So for 14 days, I'm not giving my body anything to be upset about. So on my earned day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have all these things. And when I have all these things, I'm satisfying my mouth and what I think I want. And then my body's like, oh, okay, you're not starving me of carbs. So I can go ahead and release whatever it is that I'm holding on to. It's gone. And then you're done with your carb day, and now your body is going to heal itself. It's going to go back into the working off the protein thing. It's going to be fine. You're going to be good. So that's the way I look at it. It's the best that I can do. It's the best that I have done. I've slowly been losing weight. There's other things that I am looking into. I might end up freaking going on Synthroid. My thing is I don't want to lose weight too fast too. Like I don't want to have like a bunch of loose skin and all kinds of other crap, you know, so whatever. So yeah, that's the basics of all the basics. There have been a few people who have hit me up to come out here and work out in my pool and get on a good program that have found some success, but it's not something that I do full time. I'm not home a lot. I like to travel and to do things, and but you can hit me up in the DMs if you have any questions. I'm not saying I'll answer every one, but I will try my best. I hope this video was informative, even though I'm not all, you know, put together. So yeah, that's what works for me. Worst comes to worst, you can give it a try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Yeah, so don't overwhelm yourself. Don't freak out. Don't try and count all your carbs. That's not fun. That's not a life. A life measuring and weighing and counting, and that's no life to have. No, thank you. The only counting I want to do is in my checking account and my savings account. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to edit some stuff in here somewhere. I'll add like some meal pictures and stuff. But other than that, that is it. I will see you when I see you. Peace.